I have a lot of memories of the old school Superman movies, but I have not revisited these movies in a while. That's why when I watch the newer Superman movies, I may think they're utter garbage, I may think they're pretty good, but I have no way of actually comparing them to the old school movies because I don't know if my memories are just faulty, if it's all nostalgia, or if there's some reality baked into those memories. And that's why I'm going to analyze the entire series going one movie at a time. But before I do that, I want to do this video where I just sort of talk about my thoughts on each movie ahead of rewatching them. And what better place to start than Superman the movie? I first saw this after I'd already seen Superman 2, and after I'd seen Superman 2 like 20 times. And it never really stacked up very well for me. I always thought it was a bit slow and, dare I say, boring when I was a kid. Especially the ending, like it just sort of dragged for me in a way that Superman 2 never did. I mean, Superman 2 had that amazing final battle against the trio of supervillains. The earthquake never really worked for me in Superman, and Superman Rewinding Time, that has always bothered me from a logical standpoint, and just the fact that none of it makes sense, which is the logical standpoint. I always thought Superman was way more jokey in this movie than in Superman 2, which also threw me a bit.
Well, they say confession's good for the soul. I'd listen to this man.
There were some incredible standout moments for me, like the first time we see Superman in flight in the Fortress of Solitude. I remember that, got chills from it. When he jumps out of the Daily Planet and transforms mid-fall into Superman, I always thought that was an awesome visual. And I was floored when Lois died. I mean, absolutely shocked. Granted, he then rewound the world, which was idiotic. Now, one thing, as a kid, I don't think I ever truly appreciated Christopher Reeve's performance in any of the movies. Like, to the point that, as a kid, I thought he wasn't a very good actor. Like, he was so wholesome and pure as Superman.
Bye, Frisky. Long now.
Just didn't feel real, which, kind of natural. I mean, he's not supposed to feel real. He's supposed to feel like Superman. He is pure and unadulterated, sugary good.
I like pink very much, Lois.
So I'm excited to see how my feelings on him have turned around, if they have at all. I never noticed that Clark Kent was funny. I think the humor that Christopher Reeve went for in these movies when I was a kid went right over my head. And I also think I missed the sense of wonder that this movie probably did really well that just didn't resonate with me as a kid. So I'm excited because I'm planning on watching it like in about 15 minutes from now. First time I've seen it in about 15 years. Really excited to see what I think. So that's Superman. Now I got to move on to Superman 2. And for those of you who enjoy my channel and enjoy my content, please like and subscribe. But there's another reason why I'm saying this, and that is you all should thank Superman 2 because this is the movie that got me into pointlessly rewinding through every movie that I love. Because it's the first movie that I ever recorded with my parents. I was like 6 or 7 off of ABC. And every Saturday morning, I would wake up and sit down and watch Superman 2 every Saturday morning. The same movie over and over and over.
Who is this imbecile?
Like the Eiffel Tower sequence is just seared into my brain. Right from the start when Superman rips open his shirt. I guess Clark Kent's the one opening his shirt, but someone's opening their shirt, and man, I was in for a ride.
Again!
No, I'm sorry. Only one ride to a customer.
When Zod, Ursula, and wow, for a movie that I watched so many times, Nan, his name is Nan, it's the same thing as like the Indian bread. When the three of them kill the astronauts on the moon, that shit terrified me. Lois jumping into Niagara Falls is memorable. Though the thing that I always remember is the kid who fell into Niagara Falls, that Superman had to save him. Like that kid was standing on the barrier to Niagara Falls, and his parents were like, "Get down from there!" And then they immediately turn around and are like distracted.
Yeah, honey, that's nice.
That was the moment when I realized I didn't want to be like those parents to my daughter. Superman giving up his powers. I never liked this part. Even though I rewatched the movie over and over, I hated this part. Particularly when Clark tries to stand up to the diner bully guy. I still cringe when I think about that. It's just a very uncomfortable scene. I do wonder how that'll play now, because as a kid, I was just like, oh, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be lame and like picking a fight and then getting beaten up like that. Nowadays, yeah, I still don't want to be lame and picking a fight and getting beaten up like that, but I feel like it might hit a little harder.
Oh, God.
The last third of the movie, phenomenal. For the longest time, Superman 2 was really the only movie out there where you had this final confrontation between superpowered beings, and I can't wait to watch it again. The thing I'm most interested about going back to revisit this movie is that unlike almost every other movie from my childhood, like Halloween, Duel, Jaws, Jurassic Park, I feel like I outgrew Superman the series and Superman 2. I think it probably had to do with just how wholesome Superman is and how earnest he is.
No! Don't do it! The people!
But yeah, I just wonder how this movie's gonna play for me, because the conflict in these movies is so black and white. And I think even at a young age, I kind of sense that I like nuance. I like shades of gray, and that's what caused me to stray away from the series. So I'm really interested to see what I think when I go back to this movie. I do expect to like it more than the original Superman, just because it's not nearly as slow. Oh, and one more thing about Superman 2, and this kind of goes back to how I never really tried to own this movie in the last like 25 years. I've never seen the Richard Donner cut. I feel like any other series, I would have been like, I need to see this alternate version. I've never seen it, so it's going to be exciting to watch that. Now on to Superman 3. Objectively, this is a bad movie, but as a kid, I don't think I quite realized that. Now it's really clear that Richard Pryor doesn't belong in this movie. Back then, I was just like, oh, I loved Richard Pryor in Silver Streak. Sure, I'd like him to be in a Superman movie.
Me and Superman?
I never really noticed how the movie focuses so heavily on him and kind of strays away from Superman an unhealthy amount. Other things that I don't think I quite realized, like the entire opening montage where it's just like stupid slapstick comedy routine after comedy routine. I don't think I really quite understood how tonally out of sync that sequence was. And I guess that's a common theme here is, as a kid, I never realized this material is not really appropriate for a Superman movie. There were definitely things as a kid I genuinely loved, though. Like, I think I'm not alone in saying that Superman becoming evil is really entertaining. Even if I always was amused by the fact that he's not so much evil as more like into petty mischief. But the fight between him and Clark doesn't make any sense at all, but I still find it entertaining. And the ending, as a kid, I really liked this. There's explosions, there's robots, there's like slime, there's video games. Like, I was like, oh shit, that looks amazing. These graphics are incredible. And I loved Annette O'Toole as Lana Lang. Because as a kid, I didn't really like Lois, so I was happy that she wasn't in it. And I think I had a crush on Annette O'Toole. She is fantastic in this movie, or at least she was to my memory. I just found her very charming, and I'm excited to see her again. But the thing with rewatching this movie is I'm sure that it'll have aged poorly. Like, this is not a movie I'm expecting to enjoy all that much. Like, I think the pacing is going to be torturous. I'm expecting everything with Gus Gorman to kind of make me scratch my head and be like, really? They focused on this?
Who is this imbecile?
And I do know that, like, you know, this is the first movie in the series that Richard Lester got to really direct himself. And I don't think those comedy hijinks are gonna play as well for me as before. And now Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. One of the weird things about being a kid is kids are dumb. Like, I knew this kid who thought Superman 4 was a good movie, and that kid was me. I didn't realize I was watching a bad movie. I thought it was really enjoyable. I remember thinking Nuclear Man was like this incredible foe for Superman. But like when he clawed his neck and put him out of commission for a while, that terrified me. And like the fight in space was intense for young me. All this to say that young me is not a good critic of movies. Lex Luthor's nephew, like, he baffled me as a kid. He's probably gonna baffle me as an adult.
What's that? Oh no.
The kid Jeremy, who's like, all like, I wish someone would do something, like, or whatever. And no, Superman!
No, Superman.
Like, I always thought that kid was annoying. I don't think child me really liked other childs. Now, it has been forever since I've seen this movie, and I don't think I ever saw it after I learned that this movie was kind of a personal crusade of Christopher Reeves. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. So many of Superman's powers are ridiculous. I mean, they'd already started this back in Superman 2 where it's just ripping off, like, the emblem, and that's like a power. But here, like, rebuilding the Great Wall of China with, like, goofy sound effects. I do expect that I'll find this movie to be fun. I'm curious to see if I'm going to enjoy it more than Superman 3, because as a kid, Superman 3 was my second favorite movie in the series. Now thinking back on them, I think Superman 3 is probably going to come out to be weaker, while Superman 4, I feel like I'm going to enjoy the campiness. And now the rest of this video should be kind of short, because every other movie on this list I've either seen 0 times or 1 time. Superman Returns. I saw it in like 2008. Like the opening credits. Like the plane scene. I thought Brandon Routh was good. I remember, I think he has a line at the end of the plane scene where he's like talking to the crowd, and he gave off Christopher Reeves vibes.
Statistically speaking, it's still the safest way to travel.
But I also don't remember really anything else about the movie. Like, I think I enjoyed it, but nothing stood out for me. And I do recall thinking that Lois was lackluster. I don't know what to expect when I rewatch this. I feel like this is going to be one of those, like, just mediocre movies that is clearly better than, like, Superman 3 and Superman 4 quality-wise, but that I'll probably enjoy far less. Like, I mean, the reason I never rewatched it is I think it was just like a blah experience. Man of Steel. I was so excited for this movie. This was hot on the heels of the Dark Knight trilogy, which I loved. I loved Inception. I loved almost all of Christopher Nolan's filmography up to that point. So when I saw that he was executive producer or producing Man of Steel, that they were going for a grittier take on Superman, I was in. I was not prepared for how gritty they were going to go, like, with this character. Like, Superman essentially needs to have that, like, ray of hope to him, and I thought that was kind of a given. And then when I got to the theaters and watched this with my buddy, I remember just being like, wow, this is a bleak movie. Like, Henry Cavill was, I think, great, but there was no lightheartedness at all. I remember that. I remember that because the last scene when he's talking to, I think, the army guys, and like they say something, he's like, I'm from Kansas, like, oh, I'm like a small town, whatever. That's like the only time he ever like went from super self-serious to even mildly jokey.
I grew up in Kansas, General. About as American as it gets.
I flat out did not like Amy Adams as Lois Lane. I don't think she did anything or had any sort of chemistry with Henry Cavill. I think Zod was fine. Michael Shannon's performance, probably good. But like, that's the kind of thing that I get more of a feel for on a rewatch, which is why I like to rewatch things. Watching the movie in the theaters, I noticed how desensitized I was to all the CGI and all the stupid battles, like punching each other through the city, destroying buildings. I don't think I quite realized how much wanton destruction Superman was causing and how he was probably responsible for millions of deaths until I read like reviews like in the following weeks. It'll be interesting to revisit to see how I feel about that. Oh, and of course, his dad's death is ridiculous. I thought his dad's death in the original Superman was one of those really powerful but underplayed sequences. This is like completely the opposite. Now, Batman vs. Superman, I went into this movie with incredibly low expectations after Man of Steel. And shockingly, I thought it was better, like a better theater experience. Now, most of that was Batman related. Like, I thought Ben Affleck was pretty good. There's that badass scene where he takes out all the guys in the warehouse. And I just thought he was enjoyable, as was Wonder Woman's introduction. Superman, though, I don't remember anything about him other than him like floating and like him as a Christ-like figure, I guess. But I literally forgot that he dies at the end of this movie. Like, it's been 9 years since I've seen it, and I was reminded of his death like a week ago. So that's how forgettable Superman was in this movie. And the thing about me liking this more overall than Man of Steel that's really strange is that I have less inclination to rewatch it. And it is because of the big fight between Batman and Superman.
Save Martha! Why did you say that name?
And if they were going to kill Superman in this movie anyway, why not just have Batman finish the job? I feel like that would have made me kind of interested to see where the story went next. But yeah, I really never wanted to rewatch this movie. And even now, I'm thinking like, as I go through and analyze the Superman movies, I might stop before Batman and Superman, or Batman vs. Superman, whatever it's called. See, I can't remember what it's called.
Why did you say that name?
And that brings us to Justice League. I've never seen this movie, so I have no idea what to expect or what to think. I know there's multiple cuts of the movie. I've heard that the Joss Whedon cut is abominable, and I've heard that the Zack Snyder cut is actually kind of good if you can tolerate a movie that's like as long as the extended cut of Return of the King. But that's also a major reason why I might not rewatch Batman vs. Superman for this series, because if I get through that, then I'm gonna feel like I have to get through this, and I will feel obligated to watch like all the cuts of this movie, and I just don't know if I have the time or the patience for that. But that brings us to James Gunn's Superman, which is the reason why I even decided to start talking about Superman here on this channel. This is a movie I went into with no expectations at all. Like, I didn't know if it was gonna be good, great, bad, terrible. It could have been anything and it wouldn't have surprised me. I was not thrilled with the trailer that I saw, where Crypto's just like overdoing it, and spoiler alert, Crypto does overdo it in this movie. But anyway, my experience when watching this movie, I didn't think what I was watching was great, and yet I kept getting chills throughout, and that's because I think the story and the performances were really good. Like the trio of Nicholas Hoult, Rachel Brosnahan, and David Cornsweet, I thought they knocked it out of the park. Like, these movies have such a hard time giving Superman like impactful conflicts because he's so superpowered. But here, making his being so naive a detriment and having unforeseen consequences, and how that impacts his relationship with Lois Lane, who already knows the secret, incredibly relatable. And like the scene where Lois is interviewing Clark/Superman, fantastic scene. I also liked how lighthearted the movie was without becoming like just too cringeworthy or over the top. Like, it was just the perfect level of lightheartedness. Big contrast to Zack Snyder's movies. And there were dark elements in this movie. I think they struck a good balance. But yeah, overall, I really liked it. I came out of the theater wanting to see it again. And I came out of it thinking, was this movie actually the best in the series?
Who is this imbecile?
That's why I decided I'm going to analyze the Superman series on this channel. I really want to look at these movies and dive deeply into them, because these are movies that I've seen, especially the Christopher Reeve ones, actually only the Christopher Reeve ones, that I've seen so many times. But unlike all these other movies in my past, I've never stopped and like really examined them, really analyzed them. And this is going to give me a good opportunity to do so. So thank you for watching this incredibly long video. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, or if you didn't enjoy this. I've used that joke before on many videos. But maybe that's me just doing what James Gunn Superman did with Crypto, where they just keep reusing a joke over and over.
Who is this imbecile?